Добро пожаловать на нашу конференцию.
Welcome to our conference.
Спасибо всем, что сюда пришли.
We're so grateful that you are here.
И мы верим, что Господь сюда пришел первее нас.
And we believe that God was here before us.
И я думаю, что здесь большинство верующих людей.
And I think there's quite a few of you guys here that are Christians.
Not quite few. I think more.
More than quite a few.
Меня зовут Алекс Блинов.
My name is Alex Blinov.
Это мой друг Алекс Анкудович,
This is my friend Alex Ankodovich.
который будет host.
He's going to be a host.
Знаете, мы верим в то, что у каждого человека есть дар, вложенный Богом в
You know,
него.
we believe that every person has a gift that's given by God.
И здесь собрались люди,
And today we have people here gathered
в которых вложен дар предпринимательства.
and you have this gift of entrepreneurship on your life.
Но по-другому, мне кажется, вас бы здесь бы не было бы.
Probably you wouldn't be here otherwise.
И знаете, мы понимаем, что вы этим даром,
And we understand that us with this gift,
мы можем не только служить для своих семей,
we can not only just serve our families,
быть благословением для своих
be a
семей,
blessing to our families,
мы также можем быть благословением для Божьего Царства.
but we can be a blessing for God's kingdom as well.
Если правильно все приоритеты расставить.
If all of our priorities are aligned.
И интересно следующее, что если мы правильно, если мы этим даром служим для Царства Божьего
And
еще,
here's what's interesting. If we take this gift and serve with this gift for the kingdom of God,
то мы не будем банкротами,
we will not be in bankruptcy.
мы не будем терять,
We will not have a loss,
а мы будем еще больше приобретать.
but we'll be gaining things.
То на этой конференции
So at this conference,
здесь есть ряд людей,
we have a bunch of different people here.
с которыми мы когда-то познакомились на разных миссионерских поездках,
I probably got to know them on missions trips and all,
конференциях
conferences,
или просто митингах спонтанных.
or just in different meetings.
И я замечал вместе со своими
And
друзьями,
here's what I've noticed with my friends.
что у этих друзей
That these friends,
получалось и вести большие бизнеса,
they were able to manage their large businesses,
в тот же самый момент проповедовать с дерзновением
but
Евангелия,
at the same time, with the passion, preach the word of God,
молиться за больных
pray
людей.
for sick.
И им это не мешало, они как-то в балансе
And
двигались.
they had this balance. They were able to do it.
Это моя рекомендация
So
сегодня.
here's my recommendation for you today.
Пожалуйста, не теряйте возможности для нетворка, для общения.
Please do not lose the opportunity to network.
Общайтесь с новыми людьми, которых вы еще не видели.
Get to know new people that you never met.
У нас будут сессии.
We're going to have sessions here.
Берите максимальную пользу из этих сессий.
Take as much as you can out of these sessions.
Открывайте свое сердце
Open your heart
и просто глотайте эту
and
информацию.
just consume the information
И используйте это.
and use it.
И после этого я гарантирую, с Божьей помощью
And I can guarantee that with God's help,
в вашем бизнесе будут перемены.
there's going to be changes in your business.
Будут
There
перемены.
will be changes.
Заметьте, что предприниматель Божьего Царства,
Just notice that the kingdom entrepreneur,
он не беднеет.
he is not, help me out. He's not going to be decreasing.
Он будет процветать,
He's going to flourish.
потому что Бог самый лучший бизнесмен.
Because God is the best entrepreneur.
И если вы его держите за руку,
And if you're holding on to God,
то вы будете там, где Бог предназначил вам
you
быть.
will be in the place where God predestined you to be.
Для тех, кто нужен перевод на русский
So
язык,
if you need translation to Russian language,
вот этот QR-код,
scan this QR code,
и вы его просканируете, и у вас там выйдет аппликация на телефоне.
scan it and the application is going to come up.
Нажмете там на кнопочку play
Click the play button
и будете слышать перевод.
and you'll hear the translation.
И также мы хотим поблагодарить всех спонсоров,
Also, we are grateful to all of the sponsors.
которые поддержали этот ивент.
They've supported this event.
Young Build компания,
Jan Build Company,
JPR Modern Real Estate, Wall Construction Company, EST Eurostyle компания и Expert Touch Styling. Да, спасибо вам, ребята.
Yes,
И
thank you.
спасибо всем, кто пришли сюда.
And we're thankful for everyone that is here today.
Давайте мы коротко помолимся.
Can we pray?
Господи,
God,
спасибо Тебе, что Ты пришел на это место.
we're so thankful that you are here in this place.
Мы просим Тебя,
And we ask you,
просто управляй всем этим, всей этой конференцией.
direct this conference.
Боже, это Твое место.
This is the place where you are.
Послужи каждому человеку, который сюда
Serve
пришел,
every person that's here.
чтобы каждый отсюда ушел с Твоим благословением.
So when we leave from here, we'll leave with your blessing.
Это Твое время
And this is your
и Твое
time.
место.
And this is a place for you.
Во имя Иисуса
Pray in the
Христа.
name of Jesus.
Аминь.
Amen.
Алекс, Новик, Твое время.
And Alex Novik. So, guys, I would love to intro Alex. First of all, my name is Alex Ankudovic. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Woohoo! Go Eagles! No. So, Alex used to live in Philly, and we've been friends for at least 10 to 12 years. Close friends.
More than that.
More than that? We're old.
Yeah. 18 and 19.
And then he decided to move to the state of Missouri. So I've known Alex for a long time, and his skill for marketing and branding and for design is just outstanding. So whenever I work on something and I need his opinion, I send him my design. And we were talking about this just yesterday. In order for me to trigger him helping me, I have to send him a bad design, and then a nice design comes back, and just so amazing. Alex is a father of 4 boys, has been in business for over 10 years, has an amazing company, owns few actually different companies, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Alex, thank you. Welcome everyone. First of all, I just want to, guys, God is here. This morning I was driving here and I'm praying, it's like, God, I just want you to show up. You know what I heard back? It's like, bro, I've been waiting already there for you. God was already here for you waiting. And I want to start with this. Today I'm going to be talking about branding stickers from the Bible. But what I want to first open with is I just want to say that you're valuable to God as a business people. I know a lot of you went through a situation in your life, in your church, where your ideas, where your resources, where your talents were not noticed sometimes. But if you look at the course of the history, it's business people. It's like people like you and I who actually made major changes in a company and the entire history of the world. If you start reading books by books and start looking, it was actually people like you and me who saw like, man, I don't like that these kids without education in London, like just open a Sunday school. And they open a Sunday school, and today we have free education pretty much the whole entire world. It's people like you and me who actually have a dream, an idea, and something moves us simply because we have a relationship with God. And often it's because God is the one who initiates the idea. When he created human, man and woman, he said, you are in my image. And that's what I'm going to start with, that God is the one who actually the best brand, the master of brand in the whole entire world. And I've been studying branding ever since I think I was 12 when my church came to me. It's like, Alex, here's the printer, here's the computer. We need your help. And so I was trying to figure out how to use the software. But what we didn't realize is that God is the source of this initial idea and how we're going to make it happen. So a lot of you don't understand what brand is. So I'm going to start with a complicated definition. Right? You can study it at home. I love studying those kind of definitions, but the reason I have to do this, because when I put it together, I realized that God actually have proved it from the Bible, every single statement that is shown here. Okay, so I'm going to carefully read it. I know it's complicated, but what is branding? A lot of you asking, like, is it a logo? Is branding, I don't know, what is it, right? So branding is an art of consistent communication and implementation of a unique identity, promise, and a set of values that resonate deeply with an audience, guiding their perceptions and experiences in a way that fosters loyalty, trust, and recognition. I was like, okay. So you can study this at home, but here's what I want to point is, there you go. So God is our brand master. And here's a few things, and all things He have shown us through His character. He's shown us through the Bible, through the Word of God. He has proved that He's consistent communication to us. God has implemented the most unique identity. When He showed up and people ask Him, who are you? He's like, I am. That's my name. The most powerful presentation of logo, because He sent His own Son, Jesus, as like, this is my image, and this is my style, and this is my world, and this is who I am. That's how God represents the brand. Now, He provided unfailing promise to each and every one human on earth. Every single promise that He made to us has been fulfilled and is being fulfilled. Every time He gives instructions, it's always clear and simple to understand. That's our God. That's what we read in the Bible, right? And perception, I know that He's at work. And I know your perception of God, especially if you met Him personally, you always know when He shows up. You always feel Him when He's answering. You always feel His presence. Alex was just talking about sometimes when he called me and with some kind of problem with marketing and he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know what I do. Sometimes I just go in my office, get on my knees like, God help me, I have no idea what to do. And He shows up and He gives you ideas and He gives you strategies, He gives you plan, He gives you movements and all of a sudden things start working out. That's God. He's a branding master. And if you never read a branding book in your life or met a master brand people of this world, if you read a book, if you read the Bible and you see that God speak to me, how can I influence my business? How can I influence the people I serve? How can I influence the products I serve? What can I do to actually make it work? God is the master. Go to Him. And you're going to see over and over. And obviously, my personal loyalty and trust is in Him. Because He proved Himself, He showed Himself, and He never failed me. And my loyalty and trust is completely in Him. So I want this entire presentation to be focused on God as master brand specialist and how can we in our businesses, whether it's real estate or construction, whether it's design, whether it's $20,000 startup, or whether it's multi-million-dollar business, how can we apply what God has given us? How can you apply all the ideas that He showed us with His personal life? How can you apply it in our personal life, the way we serve people? Because you have the same characteristic as God is. You're creative, you're valuable, you can do things, you can be profitable, you can make things beautiful. And that's one thing I love. Like if you look around, guys, you can see two things. You can see things created by God and things created by man. And it works together very beautifully. He made you a creator. The idea you make is always honored by God because most of the time the ideas you create, they actually help someone. And that's your main purpose. You made a beautiful bathroom for somebody and that person every time walks in there, takes a shower. But if you prayed while you're making bathroom, if you put your love and energy into this, things will change dramatically. I've actually seen stories and situations when one of my friends in Ozark, he's an electrician, and he would actually pray while he was doing job. He would pray, and he would just the homeowner would come back, and he would just start crying. He's like, I don't know why I'm crying, but I just feel something. Like I don't know what is it. It's like I don't know. Like what's going on? His heart was ready to receive the word of God and love and life. That's the power of branding. Okay. So I just want to do a few highlights from what God did to us, to this world, and almost like a branding characteristics, the secrets that sometimes we don't realize that actually we should implement in our everyday business, right? And then I'm going to do a branding commission to each and every one of you. So first is consistency is a key. If you see, God is always consistent In every single thing the Bible shows, it shows consistency, it shows power, it shows, it's just always on time. Every time that you're consistent with everything that you do, it builds trust and loyalty. So if you know you're going to show up on time for a project, guess what? If you always do it, it brings trust and loyalty to the customer. When we speak of the Apple computers, everybody, aware that they exist. You know that every single time they're going to bring you a device, it's not going to be plastic. It's not going to be something that's going to break, or it's not going to have different welcome screen, right? Every single time you get a product from Apple company, you kind of already know that it's going to be probably aluminum, it's going to be quality, it's going to use the best materials, right? So same thing with everything that we do. Let's create consistency in step by step of the way. And the way God showed his consistency, I'll just read it real quick. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His miracles never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. So one thing that we can expect from God to be consistent in is love. That's a character, the most powerful characteristic of God is consistency of love. He always instills love in you. Next is emotions matter. Jesus and actually the entire Bible is full of emotions. And often we treat business like emotionless. But in reality, every time we approach customers, emotions matter. If they feel that you care, if they feel heard, if they feel that you actually want to try to help them, it matters. It moves them to trust you. It moves them to say yes. And it actually moves them to relate to you. Emotions always matter. And I don't know if you, to bring it back to the way other companies use emotions, and maybe you're going to bring some few ideas. Remember Coca-Cola advertisement when they would put your name on billboards on the Coca-Cola bottle? Right? How did you feel when you saw your name? It feels like, oh wow, this is interesting. It's his home, right? So every time when you do anything that has to do with emotions, a story, just actually a birthday card you send them, hey, happy birthday, it matters. And all of a sudden people will choose you over somebody else simply because they felt that you care, and you felt that actually their life is not just a number for you. Life is not just a dollar sign for you. Okay, so Luke 10:13, Jesus tells about the story. And one of the stories he tells about how Samaritan was walking by and he cared. He stopped, he picked him up, he gave him care. He actually explained his emotions. Okay, so next is story. Tell a compelling story. Often we as business owner don't realize the power of a story. So we do this, here's the discount, and we move on. But actually stories are powerful. Did you know the Bible consists of 40% of the entire Bible? Okay, 43% of the entire Bible is actually stories. Because stories is something that people are relating to. So every time that you tell them about your product or service in a story, it's most likely is what they're going to remember. They were going to remember the story. And if you remember the preachers from the church, which preachers do you remember? The ones that tell stories. Right? If you remember services or if you remember businesses, which businesses do you remember in your life? The ones that tell stories. That's why if your marketing director would come to you, it's like, man, we need more reviews. We need more case studies. Oh, can you just tell me a little bit more why you're doing this business? Story matters. Apply this because God used it all the time. If you think about Moses from the Bible, for example, right? Joseph, Esther, what do you think about? Story, their story. That's what you remember, and that's how our mind and our communication operates in stories. And so Bible, it's very powerful. 43% of the Bible is stories, and 33% of the Bible is a poetry. Take note of this. It's very important. And a good example from this world, Red Bull company. No one knows that it's a very unhealthy drink. But what do you remember Red Bull by is what? That it's cool because it shows and showcase the stories of people who win, people who did something impossible, people who show something impossible. That's A story, the power of story. So I'm pretty sure they're ashamed of their drink, but hey, stories win. People buy Red Bull, they think it's cool. All right. Next is stand for something. I think that's where God have showed us the biggest and most powerful example. Because he said, when he created you and me, he said, I love you. And he stood by the word, I love you, from the beginning to an end. So when I failed as a person, he said, I still love you and I will fix it. When people keep on failing him, he sent his only son and he said, because I stand, but what I do. So stand for something. Now, please note, don't stand for someone. So there are two different things. We used to own a dealership back then, and one time we had very, very good reputation. And one LGBT company, they've been calling me, the newspaper, like, can we list our logo on your doors? It's like, why would I do that? Like, well, because you have a very good reputation, people trust you, and then they started communication with me, and I didn't know what to say, like, because if I say no, they're gonna start harassing me. You know how they do it, right? If I'm gonna say, and I realized, like, wow, what I'm standing for is what I promise. And I remember the story that one time on interview, Steve Jobs, they asked him, like, why don't you support all these communities and do this all philanthropical stuff? He said, my biggest service to the community is my product. If you buy my product, it will serve you better than other products. So stand for something. Decide what you stand for. So if you want to show up on time every single time, stand for it. If you're gonna give a gift to a customer after every single time you do a service for him, stand by it, right? If you like Tom's shoes, you know that, right? So they say that each pair of shoes that you buy goes to someone else in a country that they can afford it, right? Create something that you stand for and stand by it. Go deep in who you are and in what your company, and if you stand for it, it was always going to work. In the Bible, perfect example, 10 Commandments and Jesus on the cross. It's proved. If you failed, even if people failed, God was able to find a way to give them a way out of the problem they have created for themselves. So even if your customers fail you, if you did something, find a way that will show you that actually you stand for something. And we're going to talk actually a little bit more about it today. But Tom's shoes is a very good example today. Build a community. That's something also we don't often take seriously. One of the first questions I ask my customers when we talk is like, do you have your email list? Do you have anything that will glue your customers together, something that puts them in common? Communities. So obviously God is the best at building community. And we know the biggest community in the entire world is Christians, it's you and I, right? Anywhere in the world you go, and missionaries will tell you, the moment they hit Christian home, they feel like a home. It's a community. So Israel, it was the first community, and then church was expansion of God's original idea, what a community should look like. But how do you build a sense of community? It needs to be something in common, something they're going to share. It needs to be something they're going to be able to give to one another. It's going to be something they're going to be proud of. It's going to be something they're going to pay for someone. So we see it in church all the time. But in your business, can you build community for your customers? And sometimes it's as simple as creating a Facebook group, or as simple as creating some kind of gathering, or even today, did you know, guys, the reason why we're here together, because it was God's idea to have community. It was God's idea for us actually to support for each other. And I'm going to give you amazing news. At the end of this day, you're not going to be sold a $20,000 or $30,000 package. The reason why we're all here is because the people who organized this event, they had on their heart from God, like, man, I just want to invest in more business. I want to help other business people too. I want to know more business people. I want to be there for them. I want to pray for them if I need to. That's the actual result of the way God organized community. So welcome, guys. The organizer of this event is God himself, the creator of the universe. And I love honoring him every single time I go anywhere. It's like, God, you are here. And this is so special. He's the one who created the community. Adapt that in your business. Whether it's small, whether it's 3 people, it's already community. If you only have 3 clients, hey, get something together. Share with each other. Hey, share that customer story with another customer. If you know that they have same problem, just link them together, but build those community, never regret it. And bring into this world, Harley Davidson, right? They were able to create this community. So any Harley Davidson rider, they respect each other, they love each other, they will stop on the road for each other. I've met few of them, and it's amazing what they do for each other. Same thing with Jeep, Have you ever seen Jeeps drive by? They always they have special sign they do to each other. Or, mountaineers, people who do mountain biking and all that stuff. So it's community. Let's find a way how to create those communities in our business community. It doesn't have to be, sometimes we underestimate our abilities and we think, I have only 3 customers. My clients have nothing to do in common. Just show up for them. Give them opportunity. And you'll see how amazing, how beautiful the brand loyalty and sense of community always do things. It's amazing. And any business exploded, community was always part of it. Innovate with your identity. Now, innovation is a huge thing, and we often forget that Jesus and God himself was very innovative. The message was the same, always, I love you, right? But for Israelites, when they said, hey, God, you know what? Just write to us 10 commandments. We don't want to meet to you, with you. We are afraid of you. And you know what God said? You know what? I'll write you your 10 commandments. Now, to us today, he shows up in the way we understand. So innovate. Don't get stuck on something that was proven 20 years ago. Try to think. Just think as a God. How can I use this business strategy and how can I implement? Right? Today we're going to be talking about AI. This is amazing. You can actually, a lot of people speak junk about AI, but not realizing you actually use it to save more people. You can use it to grow your business. You can use it to help someone. So instead of pondering on negative conspiracy stuff that will only steal your time, think of how can I innovate. How can I use this technology? So I remember when the LED lights just came out, I met with one guy, and he said, you know what, LED, they're too expensive, and I know they save on electricity, but he's like, he had a shop, the light shop, and he was like, he was so angry with the fact that, all this China, he was just saying junk. But guess what? He's out of business today because he said no to innovation. It's the same thing with all of us. Innovate just like Jesus did. He spoke with people and he went with people on their level. When there was when there were a sinner, he went to the home and said, hey, let me talk to you on your level. Innovate. Message is the same, but the way we present it and the way we do it, make sure you do it differently. How many of you remember Craigslist? Does it still exist? I don't think it exists anymore, right? It actually does, right? But it used to be the power source of all the leads, and people did. But if people said, oh, what, Facebook, I don't like Mark Zuckerberg, and they stopped using Facebook, guess what? They lost a lot of things, So always innovate, always think, and try to stay away from conspiracy theories. God loves you so much, if something's wrong, he'll tell you that's wrong. Just go and grow and reach people as much as possible. Be reliable. Obviously, God is a perfect example of how to be reliable, and he never failed to show up. And even today in our everyday life, probably the most reliable person who will always understand you, show up, and show you his life is Jesus, right? Be reliable to your customers. Listen, not all of us can be perfect, right? Not all of us can build a perfect business. But if we just took a benchmark, okay, that's what God did, that's what I'm going to do for my customers. I want to be reliable to my customers. And it's going to help. You're going to get there. God himself will help you to do this. In my personal life, I'm very unreliable in many things. I receive over 100 text messages and 50 phone calls a day, and sometimes it takes me a week to see what people wrote to me. So for other people, for my other clients, it could be, oh man, you're not reliable because if I need something very urgent. But guess what? God was reliable. He had angels. Okay, maybe I need to hire some more people. Okay, he had prophets. Okay, so just start thinking from the perspective. If I cannot handle this, that means I need to do something about it. So I can. I need to grow, right? If you don't understand something, go and learn about it. But become this benchmark. I want to be reliable in everything that I do, in everything that I say, in everything that I deliver. I want people to rely on me in this particular marketplace where I'm placed at. Okay? Amazon is a good example for this one, right? You can always cancel a package. You can always return a package. They create a headache for sellers, but for you as a customer, man, Amazon is awesome. Very reliable, right? That's a good example, right? And lastly, lead with vision. Jesus saw, and he have amazing and compelling future for us from the very beginning. When he created Adam and Eve, beautiful, beautiful garden for you guys. Build it, make it beautiful. Now we failed. Okay, I have a salvation for you because what I have for you is much better than you think. And today, if you read Book of Revelation, we know how it ends. So God has everything, the best in store for you. His vision is bigger than we could ever imagine. Same thing with us. Sometimes we just get stuck with our own limitations and we stop dreaming. But actually, your customers need to know. And a great example is Elon Musk. How many of you remember, I don't know, those who like cars and Teslas and stuff, how many of you remember 10 years ago how people treated Elon Musk? For younger folks, he was a legend, even though most of the things he said were impossible. Most of the things he was pushing for were impossible, but his vision was so big. And you know why it was impossible? Because there's no way, because when the CEOs like Ford and Chevy and all the CEOs were talking, it's impossible to have so much money to create such a huge infrastructure. But guess what? His vision was so big and so loud that people got so crazy about it, and they keep on pouring money in Tesla, and it didn't produce one car. And they keep on pouring money, because vision is big. Have a big vision. And sometimes, even things that you do in your life, and you think, oh man, it's impossible. Have a vision. God wants to do the impossible things. If it's possible for you, most likely it's not from God. Just start thinking like that. Have bigger vision. So many times I told, if you have one kitchen store, Alex, why not having every kitchen store in every city? Why not? Right? Everybody needs your service. Everybody needs to be beautiful. It's impossible. How am I going to do? Don't think about that. Just have a big vision and tell and share it with your employees. Actually, one of the biggest movers of the companies, when employees see a big vision, they actually the one who start doing things and changing shifts. When employees, when your people who you work with. So your goal is to dream. Do what Jesus did for you. Even when you failed, he already had a plan how to get you out of the trouble, how to send his only son for you, and create heaven for you. Take example, perfect example, God himself. Do it for your company. Do it for your dream. Don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid. God's gonna do amazing things. And I want to pull out this Bible verse. This is a branding commission for you guys. Matthew chapter 5, 14 and 16. You are the light of the world. You can actually put your name, your company. Your company is the light of the world. This is branding commission from God himself to you. Jesus himself said these words, guys. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people hide a lamp and put it under the basket, but on a stand. And it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine, let your business shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. This is your branding commission, and I want to highlight a few things. Light of the world, it cannot be hidden. You should never hide it. Be on a stand and give light to all the people. In the house, this means in your sphere of influence. But here's a few things. So identity. 3 things that you need to be, like a commission, right? God gives you commission to do 3 things. First is identity. You are that light. A person will receive best bathroom remodel because of you. A person will get delivered things on time because of you, because you are that light. A person gonna come with this idea and manufacture that product or build a house is because you are that light. Somebody else wants to do it just because he wants to make money. But the other person, like you're going to build a house, and we're going to pray for the person who's going to live in the house. And because you're going to pray for the person who's going to live in the house, they're not going to get divorced. They're actually going to have a fun at home. They're going to have laughter and an amazing family. Think like that. You are that light. Remember who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Make it clear. Your identity. Can your brand be identified immediately? When you have a logo, when people show, it's like, oh yeah, I know this guy, I can trust him. Can it be easily understood? By just one look at your logo and on your face or your website, can people know that you're the best tile installing company in the town? Can people know right away that you are the most trusted trucking company? I don't know. I don't know what industries, but be that light. That's your calling. As a business owner, that's your calling. Maybe you've been overlooked at church, or maybe you've never seen in your life, or maybe you never thought that your business is a ministry, but it is. Be that light. God gave you this anointing to be able to provide jobs for other people, to be the light, to create services and products, to be that light. Guys, this is so powerful. Next is impact. Visibility, sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at the next slide, that's why. So, visibility. You are not under the basket, but on a stand. Now, actually, this one, I got stuck on this one. You know why? Because the moment I read this, a lot of us, and maybe most of us here, sometimes you put your business under the basket. Sometimes you let other people to put your business under the basket. Sometimes you put your own limitations on yourself. Oh, I'm not good enough. Sometimes your competitor, you think you can't even do anything with your competitor. Sometimes you get intimidated by your competitor. Don't hide it. Put it on pedestal. Don't be afraid to post about your project on your Facebook. Don't be afraid to tell your friend. Don't be afraid to call, hey, you know what? I'm in a business and I can do t-shirts. Do you want a t-shirt? Don't be afraid, because that person, he might say no, but now he's going to know that you can do t-shirts for him. Be the light and be visible at all times. Don't be afraid to, just don't let anybody to put you under the basket. That's my message to you. Don't be afraid to put your business, your ideas, and stand out for everyone. And actually, very powerful concept of branding is what people see, touch, smell, hear, and taste. You know those? That's actually brand. Think of Chick-fil-A. When you go to Chick-fil-A, you see their logo, right? You know exactly. You remember that cow that's advertised as chicken, right? Eat more chicken? Okay, you see it. Now you touch it, obviously, because you eat the food, right? You touch it. Now you smell it. You know exactly how that fry smells, right? Now, or you hear it and you taste it. So that's in every brand. Southwest also did amazing presentation of this, because you know how Southwest Airlines look like. By the way, it's one of the most profitable airlines out there. More profitable than American Airlines. So right, you see it. Now you touch it. You know that you're always going to have 2 free bags in Southwest. You touch it, right? You smell it. You know exactly. Like, for example, in Chick-fil-A, every time you go to the bathroom, it always smells fresh. It gives you automatically, your subconscious, oh, they're always clean. You know? In Starbucks, you walk in, what do you smell? Coffee. You know they sell coffee. You're not going to smell something else, right? So you hear it and taste it. You know the message that Southwest gives you, right? It's always something funny. It's always, in Chick-fil-A, what do you hear? It's my pleasure, right? So taste it. Actually, it's crazy about taste it, because I never man, how would Southwest do taste it? But my kids, every time I fly Southwest, they always ask, Dad, can you please bring me those cookies? Remember those? If you ever flew, you would know, right? So be visible and don't hide under your insecurities. If you are not perfect at what you do as a business owner, just put yourself a benchmark and grow to that. Go meet people. For example, if I know Alex is better at kitchens, I want to open my kitchen business, I'm going to actually call him. He said, Alex, I'm opening a kitchen business. Can you help me? Can you tell me if you... Just don't be afraid. The worst thing that will ever happen to you, he might say, I'm busy or no. Big deal. But the best thing that might ever happen to you is like, you know what? Let's meet up. I'll show you everything. You see? So make sure you're visible. Show everywhere. Okay? And lastly is your impact. Give the light to all in a house. you're making an impact. When you're shining, with the light shining, you are making the impact. When your brand is consistent, when you do what God taught you to do in your business, it will make an impact on people. And actually, it's going to make a lasting impact. It was, we were working with ministry 5 years ago, and they asked us to do the little cards, the prayer cards for children, the orphan children they support. And I asked one of my designers, like, can you please just help me to put it together? I don't have time. And then I had a conversation with her. I was like, man, I don't know, Alex, maybe I just don't feel like I'm making an impact. When she said it, maybe 10 minutes later, his name is Alex. He sends me a video from Brazil where 60,000 people holding those cards and praying for these kids. And I'm sending this video to her. It's like, Marina, you're making an impact. Look what you did. Look what you designed. And that changed her career, that changed her life, that changed her understanding. You are making an impact. Every single person you touched, every single project you touch, you're making whether positive or negative impact on a person's life. You whether blessing someone or making someone a miserable life. Make an impact. God have given you opportunity. God can give you ability. God can give you power and strength to make an impact. So shine. That's all you need to do. Just shine. Just do what Jesus have commissioned your business to shine. And brand is not that complicated. You just do what God does. And every time you get confused, a lot of you guys grew up in church. You just read the Bible. It's like, oh, that's what God did here. Okay, I'll do that too. Oh, Joseph. Oh, I see what he did here. You'll be blown away how much revelations. And the craziest thing about the Bible is because all of a sudden it's going to start talking to you much more than you can read. All of a sudden the Holy Spirit is going to start inspiring you. All of a sudden ideas are going to start popping up. And the reason I'm saying that because it happened to me many, many times. So guys, go and shine. We commission you as a business owners to actually change the world because you can. Be blessed. We love you.
Thank you, Alex. Wow. What an amazing first session. So you got me on the emotions matter. I'm sitting and I'm emotional. I'm like, I need help with this marketing and branding. So I don't know if that emotion counts, but I was emotional. Tell a compelling story. I was sitting and I'm like, I'm a big Shark Tank guy. So I'm listening, like I'm analyzing, I'm listening to the pitches and I'm like, all right, I get it. And then someone is pitching and they're like, whoa, hold on, stop. Do you tell this story through your business? And I don't know. That's like you were talking about business principles, like branding principles from the Bible. This is amazing. I don't know if you guys caught this. There's so much, for us, for the business. Build a community, email list. Man, years ago when we started tapping into our email list, man, we get leads out of that all the time. Someone said all of the leads are good leads. Even the bad leads are good leads, right? Because at some point they'll respond, hopefully. And you were talking about building community. We are planning, so we're in the kitchen business, and we're planning an event for contractors at our showroom. We've never done it before. That's creating a community. That's cool. Another thing, say yes to innovation if you don't want to go out of business. I don't know, that's what I heard. And then I need to hire angels? What's up with that? So whenever I hear this type of session, right, I know that there's people in the room that are on different levels in branding, different levels in marketing, right? So take action, take notes. As a matter of fact, on the back of these cards, you have them in your journals. There's a QR code where you're going to be able to download all of the presentations. Alex, you have a wrong file on there. Can you change it? We'll upload all of the presentations to there so you can download it for yourself. Now, beginning of this year, I fired all of my marketing companies that I had and hired someone to do marketing in-house. I've been struggling with marketing, trying to break through and start scaling for probably a year and a half. It's been kicking my butt for sure. So listening to Alex, and it's my pleasure to invite Matt to the stage. He's going to talk about social media. And for Matt, for over 20 years, he's created specific messages for targeted audiences with one goal in mind: calling them to action. Woo. I'm passionate. He's passionate about partnering with small businesses owners to communicate their unique offers and sending the world respond on scale they've never imagined. Please welcome Matt Ware.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Great to be here with you today. I love events like this because we get to learn and grow and sharpen our skills, and I get to speak for one session, and then I get to take notes for all the other sessions and grow with all of you. So something else that I love about these events is we just get to be in the room with like-minded people. Owners and entrepreneurs are a different breed of people, aren't we? And not everybody else understands it. Not everybody else gets it. And so when we're in these environments, we get to connect with other people who know what it's like to see something on the inside before we ever see it on the outside. And that's what entrepreneurship really is all about, having a dream on the inside that then you bring into reality. So glad to be here with you. Thank you, Alex, Serge, all the team here. You guys have done an amazing job. Isn't this amazing? Especially for the first time in Denver doing this, you guys are just killing it. So love this and love getting to be here with you. If you will follow me on social media at the Matt Ware, I'd love to connect with you there. And that's actually what I'm going to talk about a little bit today is social media. I own a digital marketing company that focuses primarily on social media advertising for small businesses. And I guess that's why they asked me to come and talk about social media stuff today, which is a little bit ironic because if you would have asked me a couple of years ago to speak on social media, my response would have been, I hate social media. But God has a sense of humor, doesn't he? I don't know about you, but it's really easy to fall in this kind of like cynical thing about like, man, why do we even have to do this, right? Can't life just be easier and quieter and calmer? And I don't care what you ate for lunch, and I don't want to see the pictures of your vacation because I was at work. Please don't post a picture of a video of you doing that dance. You have no business dancing like that and putting it out for the world. This is how I would have thought about social media a few years ago. And maybe you think about that way as well. In fact, I was off of social media almost entirely for the better part of 10 years. And so a few weeks ago when I told a friend of mine that I was speaking about this, he laughed. He's like, dude, you went dark for a decade. How do you get to talk about this stuff? I'm like, well, that's just how God is. Oh, I get to control my own slides? Oh, that's awesome. I was like, who's doing this? You were doing it the whole time. That's multitasking up here. All right. I'm going to have to, I got multiple iPads. This is great. All right. So that was my mentality. That was my mindset before I realized that there's such an amazing opportunity and that I could help business owners and entrepreneurs really grow their businesses, really step into a whole nother level if I could help them understand how to master a marketing mindset. Master a marketing mindset. And that's what I want to talk to you about for a few minutes today. I don't want to talk about methods. Methods are great. Methods come and go. Really what matters is our mindset. Okay, you can have all the right methods in the world, but if you don't have the right mindset, it's not going to make any difference. The promise I can make you is that it's probably not a method that keeps your business from growing the way you want it to. It's probably more a mindset. And if you'll change a mindset, everything else can start to fall into place from there. And so the mindset that I had to change, maybe that you will have to change, is to recognize that as owners, as entrepreneurs, social media is not really for entertainment as much as it is engagement. Okay, it's not for us to consume as much as it is to capitalize. And yes, all of the naysayers are out there. They'll tell you that social media, kills time and kills your joy and kills your brain cells. And I suppose that could be true too. But if you'll learn how to leverage it, it can create amazing opportunities for your business to grow further and faster than you ever thought possible. And so what I've learned how to do, and I want to just give you, a little bit of mindset around what I tell my clients is that if you'll learn how to leverage social media, you can turn likes into leads and you can turn clicks into clients. Okay, and I think that is a key thing for us to understand is that we can leverage social media to really begin to grow and scale our business. How many of you are interested in doing that? Okay. So let me just clarify this, just in case this is important, to make sure that I've got the right people in the room. I want to make sure that I'm talking to growth-minded, forward-thinking, sky's the limit, dream-building kind of people. Do I have those people in the room? Okay. If you're satisfied with the way things are now, if you have no drive or desire to build or grow, if you want to keep doing what you've always done and keep getting what you've always got, then what I'm going to say isn't really for you. So just grab some more snacks and tune me out, and you can come back for the next session, all right? But I think I've got the right people, and I'm excited about that because hopefully I'm going to be able to encourage you and challenge you a little bit. Let me start by asking this question, a very fundamental question. How does your business grow? How does your business grow? Okay, let me give you the sophisticated, fancy answer. Your business grows when more people buy more of your stuff. Right? Your business grows when more people buy more of your stuff. Okay, that's what it comes down to. And all of us need more people buying more of our stuff. Okay, it doesn't matter what business you're in. You might sell a physical product. You might create digital products. You might provide a tangible service. You might provide a knowledge-based service. But no matter what type of business you have, your business only grows when more people buy your stuff. Here's the thing, is that people can only buy your stuff if they know about your stuff. Are you tracking with me? Right? People can only buy your stuff if they know about your stuff. I don't know about you, but I've never bought anything that I didn't know about. Okay, whether it's a burger or a pair of jeans or a new truck or a house, you have to know about it before you can buy it, right? Okay, so you can only grow your business if people know about what you're offering. And I think some of us have bought into the idea that if we're just good enough at what we do, that the business growth will take care of itself. We thought, well, if we're just good enough at our product, if our product's good enough, if our service is good enough, if our offer is good enough, then people will find us, people will find out about us. And what I want to tell you is that in the day and age that we're living in this business landscape, being good enough is not enough. Being good enough is not enough. It is not the best business that wins. It's the best known business that wins. Okay, Alex talked about it just a minute ago. Visibility is the key, right? If you hide what you have under a basket, you might have light that the whole world needs, but if you hide it under a basket, the world's not going to get the light. If you don't have the visibility, you're not going to see your business grow. You might be the best kept secret in your industry, in your city, but if you stay a secret, what difference does it make? If you stay a secret, you won't be able to have the impact that you want to have in your business. You have to figure out how to make known what you do and who you do it for. And I know with a group like this today, we come from different types of businesses, different industries, different niches, different sizes of companies, okay? Different backgrounds, different experiences, different perspectives, even different native languages. And so I don't want to assume that when I use a word or a phrase that we're all on the same page about what it means. So I want to kind of break this down just a little bit for you and explain and unpack one word that I think really is the essence of what I help business owners do to leverage social media to grow. Okay, and that word is the word advertise. Advertise. And I know when I say the word advertise, it means different things to different people, right? In fact, let me ask you, when I say advertise, what do you think? Give me some answers. Paying something, okay? What else? Expensive, right? Only if it doesn't work, yeah. You already read my notes, didn't you? We think about all kinds of different things when it comes to advertising, radio or TV or billboards or whatever. I want to just tell you that the essence of advertising is simply this idea of making known. To advertise is to make known. Make known who you are. Make known what you do. Make known who you do it for. And at a Kingdom Entrepreneurs event, I think I can talk about it this way because most of us are people of faith. If you're not a person of faith, though, we're still glad that you're here and all this is going to apply to you and it's going to encourage you, I think. But I want to frame it this way and tell you this. I think Jesus was a master advertiser. I think he was a master advertiser. I think he was constantly making known who he was and what he came to do and who he came to do it for. He was always thinking about this. Everything that he did was framed around this idea of making known. Mark chapter 1, verse 14 and 15 says this, he came to Galilee proclaiming the gospel of God, saying the time is fulfilled, the kingdom of God is at hand. Okay, what is this? This is proclaiming, it's making known, it is advertising. Jesus is saying, look, it's here, I'm here, the kingdom is here. And so I want to just challenge you. I have a feeling we're going to have this as a theme today. This is going to come out a lot, I think, in our speakers, is to understand there is not a conflict between being a person of faith and running a successful business. These things actually go hand in hand because this is God's idea in the first place. God is the original entrepreneur. He's the first one who saw something that was not there yet and began to create it. He saw it, he spoke it, he created it. This is what entrepreneurs do. This is what an entrepreneurial spirit is. People talk about the entrepreneurial spirit, sort of in a general term, as people who have the Spirit of God in us. There's an actual entrepreneurial spirit from God himself that lives inside of us. And when we lean into that, when we throw ourselves into that, I think that we're actually reflecting the very image and nature of God because he's the one who put it inside of us, because this is the way that he created and sustains the whole universe. It's with an entrepreneurial heart and mindset. So don't buy into the lie that faith and business have to run on two different tracks in your life. These things God's put inside of you for a reason, and the scriptures give us these blueprints, these principles, these models of how to run successful businesses because this was God's idea. So this is the mindset we have to have, is understanding that Jesus was advertising, making known who he was and what he came to do and who he came to do it for. You might say that Jesus was making his offer known to the world. And that's what we do when we advertise. We make known who we are and what we do and who we do it for. We're making our offer known. So if there's one thing that I want you to get today, it's this, that if you want to grow your business, you have to make your business known. You have to make your business known. And so the logical question then is, well, how do I do that? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's what I want to spend a couple of minutes breaking down for you. And again, this is all about your mindset. Okay, so a couple things that are going to be, sort of frameworks around this. The first thing is to understand that there are only two types of people in the world. There are people you know, and there are people you don't know, right? Okay, I know some of you. My friend Evan is here. Alex and I met last night via text message, and his picture showed up, so I knew what to look for when I walked in this morning. Serge is back here, so I know a few of you. Okay, a lot of you I don't know yet, but we're going to spend all day together, so we're going to get to know each other, right? But there's people you know, and there's people you don't know. Those are the only types of people that there are, okay? We might refer to them in business, you've heard these terms before, as a warm market and a cold market, right? The warm market is the people you know, the cold market is the people you don't know. So there's only those two types of people, okay? There's also, as entrepreneurs, there's only two ways that we personally, individually can reach out to these two different types of people, and that's one-to-one and one-to-many. Okay, when I have an individual conversation, that's a one-to-one way of marketing. One-to-many might be something like what I'm doing right now, where I'm talking to a bunch of people at one time, or of course, all the other different methods of advertising that you can do that. So there's people you know and people you don't know. You can communicate with them one-to-one or one-to-many. Are you tracking with me so far? I need nod your head. Okay, good. Thank you. We advertise differently to people we know than people we don't know. And we advertise differently in a one-to-one framework compared to a one-to-many framework. But if we're serious about growing our business, we have to make known in all of these different areas. And so what I want to do is just give you a visual that'll help you. And you can make maybe just make notes of this if you want to, just a simple matrix to understand really what a marketing mindset is. So a marketing mindset matrix, you see on one side, you got your cold market and your warm market, people you know, people you don't know. and then one-to-one and one-to-many. And I'm going to kind of walk you through how you're going to advertise, how you're going to make known to those different groups of people. You see on that first quadrant in warm market, people you know, and one-to-one, we call that warm outreach. That's when we have coffee or lunch with somebody. We shoot emails or text messages or phone calls to people that we know. And these are people we know and like and trust, and we connect with them to let them know what we're doing. Okay, Jesus' example for this, one of them would be, when he's at the beach and he's having breakfast with Peter, this is a one-to-one warm market conversation. Okay, right? They know each other, they like each other, they trust each other, and Jesus is saying, look, I'm about to go back to heaven. I need you to feed my sheep. Here's what's going to happen. I'm inviting you in to be part of what I'm doing. This is a warm outreach conversation. Okay, if you've been in business long at all, you've probably already done this, so I don't need to spend a lot of time on it. But what I do want to make sure that I highlight for you is that as we go through this, it's not that you're graduating from one to the other. It's that as business owners and entrepreneurs, we're going to always be doing all of these things. Okay, so we're going to build on them. We're not exchanging, we're expanding what we do to make known. All right, if we go to the second one, you're going to see that goes into cold outreach, right? You're still having one-to-one connections with people, conversations, but now you're talking to people you don't know, right? They call it cold calling for a reason, right? You pick up the phone and you call somebody you don't know, and they're not going to answer. They're going to hang up on you. You have all that fear, all this stuff. You send out DMs or emails or those kind of things. That's all cold outreach. If your business is new, you're probably doing that. I did a lot of this when my business was just getting started. Or maybe you're trying to go to the next level, and so you're leaning into some cold outreach. Okay, this is something we're always doing to reach new people and let more people know about what we're doing. Here's the thing is you can't do business with people who don't know about your business. Right? So you've got to always be making sure that more people know about who you are and what you do, who you do it for. Biblical example of this that I love is Jesus with the woman at the well, right? These are people who don't know each other. The woman at the well doesn't know who Jesus is until, guess what? Cold outreach. He reaches out to her. He says, that water that you're pulling up, if you drink that, that's fine, but you're going to be thirsty again. But I've got this water over here that'll never make you thirst again, right? That's a better offer, right? When we talk about offers, that's a much better offer. Okay, think about this. Jesus, he has an advertising mindset, right? He's making known who he is and what he can do and how he can help people. And so these quadrants, let me go back to the one I had before. How do I go back? Well, you wrote it down. You'll be fine. All right. There it is. Perfect. Oh, this is awesome. I can just sort of speak it out and it happens. It's amazing. All right, so you're still in one-to-one, and both of these things, you can reach out to people one-to-one in a cold market or in a warm market, and we can and should be doing those things. But my experience, and probably your experience too, is that these are good ways to reach people and grow your business, but they are slow ways, right? Okay, they're good, but they're slow because it just takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy to do that. And again, I know we're a diverse group of people in the room, but one thing I know about you, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, is you don't like anything slow, right? Nobody who owns a business wants it to happen slow. We all want to do it fast. We all want to see it happen faster. I hate slow. I hate people that are driving slow, walking slow, thinking slow, making decisions slow. I talk fast because I don't like anything to be slow. This is just like the nature of an entrepreneur. We don't like things slow. Patience and entrepreneurship do not go hand in hand. These are mutually exclusive things. Every one of you want to grow your business faster than you're growing it now. And so these one-to-one methods, they're not bad. They're good. We should be doing them. There's a lot of value, but they are slow. And some of you, you might be experiencing slower growth now than you want to, slower than you need to. Slower than you hoped for, slower than you prayed for. And it could be because your mindset has not yet shifted into how you can make known in a greater way. And as I was, just kind of thinking about, this weekend and leading to this event, something that I just feel like, I don't know, like the Lord was just putting on my heart. Maybe it was just for me, and so I'll just say it for me, and maybe it'll apply to you too, but the idea that our mindset has to match our mission. If God's given you a big mission, it's going to take a big mindset to accomplish it. And I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things in my heart that I want to see God do through my life and my business to make an impact in the world. I know many of you, because you're faith people, you're involved in your church community or you're involved in missions or things like that. You want to make a big impact in the world. The challenge is you might have a big mission, but you don't yet have a mindset that can support that mission. And I think God wants to call us to a bigger mindset that can make the mission that he's put inside of us really begin to come to pass. So the bigger, ultimately, the bigger the mission, the bigger the mindset. Did I get that? Yeah, there we go. The bigger your mission, the bigger your mindset. It's going to require us to do something bigger if we want to have bigger impact. And in my experience, for a lot of small business owners, a small mindset is what keeps them stuck. A small mindset is what keeps them from really growing the way they want to. A lot of business owners are actually very comfortable in that one-to-one framework, right? Whether it's, with people they know, networking, exchanging business cards, getting a referral, like whatever it is, or maybe doing some cold calls, things like that. This one-to-one thing they're very comfortable with, but it's keeping them stuck because they're not going into a one-to-many mindset. And that's where we've got to make a shift. We've got to make a change in terms of what we're doing and how we're approaching it. And that's where social media really comes into play. Some of you were wondering if I was ever going to talk about social media. Yes, this is where we're going to talk about it for just a couple of minutes because this is where there's amazing opportunity for us to see growth happen. I think social media offers us the greatest opportunity to reach new audiences that we don't know, people who don't know us. And by the way, there's a lot more people we don't know than people we do know. Here are the stats that came out just this week about social media users. Facebook, 3 billion active users. YouTube, 2.5 billion. Instagram and WhatsApp, 2 billion. TikTok, 1.5 billion. What that means is that with every click, you have the potential of reaching billions of people. And I promise you, your postcards, your door hangers, your business cards are not getting seen by billions of people, right? This is a whole different world. This is a whole different way of reaching people. And I think it's the greatest opportunity to begin growing our businesses. And that's why I've built a business, helping business owners and entrepreneurs do that. So if you see there, we go into one-to-many. We can actually start posting on our social media pages. And Alex, he mentioned that a minute ago. Hey, don't be afraid to post. Your post doesn't have to be perfect. Your picture doesn't have to be perfect. But just begin to make known what you do and who you can do it for and how you can begin helping people. Show of hands, how many of you have Facebook or Instagram or some kind of social media profiles, not for you personally, but for your business? Okay? So there's still some opportunity in here. Okay? The follow-up then is, are you using them? Do you post on them? It's one thing to open it. It's another thing to actually use it and to engage people. I would tell you that more people will actually find out about your business on social media than through your website. And I've got some stats to prove that too. Everybody wants this amazing website. Guess what? Your company will reach more people through your social media pages than your website, right? Because people don't know about you necessarily, but they can find you in these ways. What I want to draw attention to, though, is that social media posting is still, for the most part, only going to reach your warm audience. Okay? Why? Because the people who see your posts are people who are already following you, people who are already your friends on these networks. There's ways to grow that, but that is still mostly a warm audience. So I want you to think about it this way. This is Jesus with his 12 disciples and Mary, right? Because of course your mom's going to follow you and she's going to like all your posts, right? My mom likes every post I put up. It doesn't even matter what it is, she likes it. In fact, if I post something and a couple hours goes by and she hasn't posted, I call her, make sure she's okay. Like, Mom, you didn't like this. So as soon as I get done here, I posted some stuff this morning of this room. I'll make sure she likes it and that she's up and she's doing okay this morning. So, but maybe it's not just the 12. Maybe it's the 72 disciples that he sent out. Maybe it's the 500, that he saw after his resurrection. But still, these are people who are connected to him. These are people who already know him and are following him. So the final part of the quadrant and what I focus on and what I want to encourage you in, because I think it has the most power, is one-to-many and in a cold market, a new market, and that is social media advertising. Social media advertising, paid ads for small businesses are one of the easiest, fastest, most accessible, most cost-effective ways to grow of any kind of marketing that's out there for your business. And it doesn't matter what niche you're in, doesn't matter what city you're in, there are ways to do this and do it really well and see your business grow. This is a way you can make known who you are and what you do and who you do it for with a completely different audience. And this is a mindset shift, okay? If you're relying on one-to-one marketing to grow your business, you will always be limited by your personal capacity because that takes time. If you're relying only on your warm market to grow your business, you'll always be limited by your personal connections because you only know so many people. Personal capacity, personal connections can be the greatest limiter for small business growth until we learn to shift our mindset and move out of that. By the way, this is what Jesus, I think, had in mind when he said in Mark 16:15, Great Commission, go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. He's saying we've got to make this known. We've got to advertise the good news, the gospel, the offer that's so good you'd feel stupid saying no to it, but it's only available in the kingdom, right? Proclaim it. That's not one-to-one, it's one-to-many. The whole world, brand new audiences who don't yet have any idea what God can do for them. It was a mindset shift then, just like it is now, but 2,000 years and a couple billion followers later, we'd say that worked out pretty well, right? Okay, all of these methods, all of these principles are found in the scriptures if we'll learn from them. I could tell you example after example of clients that I have worked with right here locally who have just killed it doing this because they begin to get a marketing mindset. People who found their leads skyrocketed compared to every other type of business or every type of other marketing thing that they were doing. I had one client got a 67-to-1 return on their ad spend, and I don't know about you, but those are good odds. I'm not a gambler, but I like those odds. I would go to Vegas if I had those kind of odds, right? People who doubled their email list in 60 days, got hundreds of thousands of views on their videos to expose what they were doing to new audiences. This is the power of shifting from a warm market to a cold market and from a one-to-one to a one-to-many type of advertising. As we go through that matrix, you probably can easily identify where you and your business are at, where your strengths and weaknesses are. And so my challenge to you is to say, how do you begin to grow? How do you begin to shift your mindset and move into some different ways of doing this? God gave you a big mission, but it's going to take a big mindset to accomplish it. Jesus' example is for how we advertise, how we make known who we are and what we do and who we can do it for. He used this framework to grow the kingdom. We can use this framework to grow our businesses if we'll learn how to master a marketing mindset. All right. So much more I could talk about, but apparently other people want to talk today. So I'm going to wrap up with that. Thank you guys so much. You're awesome. I love being here with you. I'm excited about today.
Amazing. Wow. 67-to-1? You're hired. 67-to-1. Big mission, big mindset. So true. One of the things that I've realized with social media, custom audiences. Alex recommended me this book, One Page Marketing Plan. The guy talks about going an inch wide, but a mile deep. What that means, find out who your perfect client is and market to that niche market, but go deep. Anyway, very cool. Branding. One of the things as I'm listening to Matt, I'm like, for over the years, I've been probably functioning too much on emotion and not enough focusing on branding because that limited my mindset in my company. Understanding how to expand, and I talked to Matt about this a little bit more. My challenge is growing, organically we're fine, but growing exponentially fast is a challenge. And I remember I used AI to create a custom, change the wording on our pop-up on the website, and I think I did pretty good job with AI. I changed the wording; it was simple wording change. And the catalog downloads just completely dropped. I go, what? It makes, it says basically the same thing, right? but completely dropped off the downloads. Thank God for undo. I just went back. We're at the break. Thank you so much. We'll see you shortly.